Are you not a musical fan?
No, I am. I watched Wonka finally.
Oh, yeah. Did you like it?
I did, actually. I thought I was not
going.
going.
Ours.
Yeah, go watch ours.
How are you here?
There's a longer video that you could be watching right now. Hello and welcome to another episode of Reddit. Not Reddit Reads.
Not Reddit Reads.
No. Welcome back to Rolling with the Reddit. God. James, what are you doing to yourself? Welcome back to another episode of Rolling with Reddit. I don't know what number we're on. Eventually, we're going to number them and figure that out. But today, instead of having multiple stories, I actually have a very long story. This comes from us on the RPG Horror Story subreddit by username Disastrous Sapphire. Disastrous-Sapphire. And I will say, as of the time of recording this, this was posted 2 hours ago.
2 hours ago?
And it has been marked as an extra long story. So buckle in.
Okay.
Let's go on this adventure.
I should have brought popcorn.
I know. The title of the story reads, Player won't stop talking about sex after finding out my sexuality.
This sounds eerily familiar to a previous one that you've read.
Yes, a little bit, I'm sure.
Okay.
This is not the same one, though.
Okay.
The story reads, This is a story that might require a sexual content warning. I'm going to try my best not to go into too much detail, but I still want to give a fair warning. There is a TLDR at the very top, and I'm choosing to ignore it.
Okay.
That way we can get the entire thing.
Yeah.
I'll come back up and read the TLDR later.
Okay.
I've been playing D&D for years now, and I've become accustomed to playing online. However, the campaign was put on hold while our DM dealt with creative burnout, taking a brief hiatus. I mean, that's fair. DMs take a break. And my D&D addicted brain had nothing to do with my free time, so I started looking around for in-person groups. It took a while, but I eventually found one in my city with some people around my age. I thought this was great and joined with a changeling bard. Now, you're familiar with changelings, right?
It's my favorite thing. My very first character was a changeling.
Oh,
and
and
then I imported that character over to another game because I just really liked her backstory and I couldn't do anything else with it. So it's a great character and concept as well. I had this character because I liked the idea of a performer that could change their looks to match any role they needed. That's exactly.
Changing their appearance if they sung songs in different languages, or if they told stories, they actually could change into the people they were pretending to be. Well, the problem player, who I'll just call Rogue, thought I did this for another reason.
No.
I can already see the miscommunication, and I don't like it.
You're giving rogues a bad name.
I know. It's like your class.
It's my class, but it's not usually the rogue, I don't think.
No.
Yeah. Yeah?
Maybe
Maybe it's just because it's me, and I would never do this.
Perhaps. Rogues, they have a different kind of history, in my opinion. Not always bad, I will say. But in session 1, they made a comment about how my bard could be anyone's wildest sexual fantasy. Okay.
That, I feel like a changeling would have that happen.
I feel like that's like a racial stereotype they probably get. They were playing into the stereotype of bards being sexual, but whatever, not a big deal. First comment out the gate, I'm sure has, some leniency in their, their approach.
Yeah.
The story goes on to say that the DM started having a male NPC that was in the tavern start flirting with my character. But when I had her act aloof, quickly had the character take the hint, and it ended up with her attempting to teach him how to play her lyre. Despite the talk being friendly, Rogue kept insisting my bard was going to get some tonight. Gross. Or it's either gross or it's friendly ribbing.
Yeah, exactly. It's the first session. I imagine they don't know each other too well.
Yeah.
Plenty of friends will be like,
yeah.
The first time you can be forgiven as a joke.
I like that they're setting the stage, though.
Yes.
When my bard didn't go upstairs with the man, Rogue questioned this, seeming completely confused. She's not interested, I told him. Oh, I get it. You're playing a lesbian. He said this as if it made perfect sense.
Why was that your first conclusion?
Of course.
Dick appears. I don't want it. Must be lesbian.
Must be. Yeah. No, she's not interested in women either. She's asexual, I explained.
Ooh.
Rogue and a few other players, the cleric and the wizard, questioned what this was, and I basically gave a brief explanation that she doesn't feel sexual attraction. Cleric seemed confused, but didn't question it. The wizard accepted the answer with no hesitation. Rogue, however, acted as if I made my character this impossible sexuality for other reasons, questioning if I had done this because I was trying to be one of those players that was trying to avoid the horny bard meme.
No, asexual people exist.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I'm having a hard time finding. I'm sure this is going to get worse.
Yes.
Right now, the rogue is just being stupid, I think.
Yes, like not understanding.
Yeah.
What an asexual person is.
Yeah.
Putting a stereotype on a character type.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know what he meant by one of those players, but I explained to him that I just made my character the same sexuality as myself. Rogue suddenly got excited as he immediately had his character go up to mine, questioning why she didn't go chase her man, and started explaining in detail the most anime-styled sex scene they could possibly have, which involved Rogue mentioning how she could do things like turn her arms into tentacles. By the way, no, actually, I think changelings technically can do that.
Can turn their arms into tentacles? I thought they can't do animals.
So they have to choose a race that shares the same amount of appendages. But I don't know of a race that has tentacles for arms, so I don't think they'd be able to do it. No. If there was a homebrew race in your world that had tentacles for arms, I'm sure they could. But yeah.
But I hate the types of people who hear asexual and immediately just throws sex at a person as if that would change their mind.
Yeah.
What?
Young, dumb, and stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I had my bard say that she simply wasn't interested and tried excusing herself from this awkward situation. Wizard and cleric remained silent, and the DM tried moving past Rogue's antics, cutting him off as he continued the session. The game itself was pretty much. I loved Wizard and Cleric's characters, and the DM was great at world building in his homebrew setting. I don't know if DM had a conversation with Rogue on the side or not, because he didn't say much for a few sessions. But the moment my bard got to talking to anyone, Rogue instantly started making jokes about the two getting together, saying sexual things. I tried brushing it off, thinking if maybe I didn't bring it up, the jokes would eventually become boring. Yeah, like they ignore it until it dies.
Yeah. What sucks is that you can make some funny, like if you had a repertoire, like a friendly relationship with an asexual person, you can make funny jokes about sex with that person. Yeah. Especially they'll be like, haha, because you know they're not actually going to go have sex with someone.
Exactly.
You know? But I'm assuming the tone and the vibes that he's probably giving off is not giving that.
Yeah, from what I'm getting from the story so far is I think Rogue is having a hard time understanding that asexuality is a thing.
Yeah.
Jinx, also. However, apparently, according to Rogue, my facial expression when he would bring the stuff up was priceless and enough for him to continue. After the third or fourth time of this, I finally questioned why Rogue kept doing this, as it was starting to get on my nerves. I couldn't have a normal NPC reaction with him yelling at my character to turn into a short stack with huge tits or a large woman with a skull-crushing thighs. I didn't mince words. I told him, it's annoying that I can't keep a normal conversation with someone. Mm-hmm. And that's in quotes. Rogue laughed and said he did it because he thought my reactions were funny. My reactions of shock and disgust were funny to him.
I'm getting, like, so many flashbacks.
Yeah. It goes on. I told him why I thought it was annoying. Mostly that I didn't like him continuously bringing up my sexuality. Mm-hmm. It wasn't relevant to anything my character was doing. He made a comment about how it's relevant because my character never flirts with anyone, so I was the one reminding everyone that she's asexual.
People live their lives without flirting with every single person they come into contact with.
Yeah.
Does he not know that either?
No. but I think he's a stud muffin. Sorry, no. Yeah, cut that out.
Oh no, that's staying.
Oh, fuck, no. I'll edit this one. Wizard made a brief comment about how little sense this makes. So what, if a straight or gay character constantly doesn't flirt with everyone, is that reminding everyone of their sexuality every time? It turned into a heated debate that I mostly tuned out. DM ended up ending the session early, and I packed up my things, heading home with a sour taste in my mouth. I had hoped everything would blow over by the next session, and maybe Rogue was embarrassed enough to stop this nonsense after Wizard and DM argued about the flaws in his logic. When it came to the idea of my sexuality, which he claimed I was the one bringing it up by playing that type of character in the first place. However, next session started with Rogue talking to my character as they walked along the road. He started describing the way sex works, as if this was an anime scene. No, he wasn't a weeaboo or your stereotypical neckbeard. He was actually pretty muscular and gave off weightlifter vibes. I told him to cut it out of character, and had my bard walk ahead of him. DM tried moving on, describing the scene as my character moved away from him. I could see the DM giving Rogue a look that silently read, "Stop it, or you're going to get the boot." He had his rogue run up to her and put his arm around her, describing all the different things could turn into. Whoa.
That she could turn into?
I assume so, yeah. There's a few typos in the story, unfortunately, but we're going to muscle through them.
Okay, just quickly.
Yeah.
Having a man, I don't know the gender identity of this player.
I don't either.
But if they are a woman, but even the fact that they're playing a woman, to have a man, just it's incredibly objectifying to have someone describe all the types of women that are fuckable to him. And then also describing said sex acts that he would want to do with them. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just, what is deplorable, disgusting, in-game, out-of-game. Like, this is just not normal behavior.
No, it's definitely not. It's definitely blind to other people's emotions as well.
Yeah.
Oh God, I saw a word I didn't like.
Oh no.
Saying that she could be some guy's personal harem, 20 different girls in one. Who wouldn't tap that? And then made some kind of weird moaning noise.
Oh. Also, that feels like an insult to men. You know, like all men want is
20 different girls. Oh yeah.
This guy needs to watch the Barbie movie.
I like the way the start of this paragraph starts.
Yeah?
Nope. All caps. Nope. I stood up and started gathering my things. DM started going back and forth between Rogue and I, yelling at Rogue and how he was about to get kicked while trying to get me to stay at the table. I told the DM I couldn't deal with this, that this drew a line and I was too uncomfortable with the situation to continue. I thanked him for running the game, apologized for leaving like this, and packed up the rest of my things. Rogue was sitting there silently, but he looked like he was actually angry, glaring at me as if I had done something to him. DM fumed silently for a brief moment until I started zipping up my bag. Once I was leaving the room, DM turned to the Rogue and told him to start packing up his things because once he was sure I was in my car safely, he wanted him the hell out of his house.
I was about to say, like, don't make them leave. At the same time, I was scared for her safety.
Yeah. Smart DM.
Yeah.
Like, big props to this DM. I think the only thing that he could do better was probably putting his foot down sooner.
I mean, previously it sounded like he did try to have a talk with him.
Yeah.
It's just that people can't be helped if they don't want to be helped.
I agree. And it sounds like he was doing everything he could. And that's one of the harder distinctions to make is like, when do you cut somebody out of your table and out of your life like that?
Yeah, especially if they've been playing for a while now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely a hard conversation to make, but smart of the DM to make them leave separately. OP goes on to say that, which I appreciated, he waited to kick Rogue out, making sure we didn't leave together at the same time. I don't think Rogue would have tried something IRL, but I guess the DM got an entirely different impression. I received text messages from the DM the next day, apologizing for not kicking Rogue sooner. Apparently Rogue was his cousin, and he had intentionally been afraid of his family giving him shit if he kicked him out of the game.
I knew it. I knew there was history there.
Yeah. Since he expected Rogue to go around, changing details in the story to make himself look like an innocent angel to the family, I assume. Yeah.
Show them this Reddit story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt bad for DM. I knew he was in a tough position, and with me thinking Rogue wasn't going to be there, I came back to the table.
Thinking that Rogue wouldn't be there. That's the key word, isn't it?
I think it is. For the next few months, everyone was great. I even continued playing. A few months, that's
okay.
good.
Good.
Everything was great. I even continued playing with my online group. Started back up again because of how much fun I was having. We added a new player, another bard, to our group. Could you imagine
if he's
the online bard now?
Yeah, that would be coincidence.
It would be horrible, but funny in my head, but not,
As an outside viewer.
Yeah.
Irony is funny, but also, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the right side, that doesn't seem to be the case because it says the two of them became nearly instant best friends / rivals in game. Constantly trying to outdo each other and performing in fun, competitive ways. Everything was great until Rogue had apparently found out I was still in the campaign because one day he drove past DM's house and saw my car. Next thing I know, Rogue is dropping in every time he sees my car outside. DM even tried switching the times, but he couldn't exactly hide my car because everyone else either worked at DM's house or didn't own cars of their own. No one could pick me up, and probably the scummiest thing Rogue did, after that first initial time he did this, DM asked him to leave, so Rogue started making sure to at least bring one other cousin of his and DM's over. So now Rogue is bringing in a third family member.
Yeah, because you can't kick out the one that's not at fault.
Yeah.
Especially if they come together in one car.
Yeah.
But also
I feel like if
the third family member knows what's up,
they probably don't, or they think they do.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
And as you'd expect, Rogue would make comments about the two female bards sleeping with each other. Sometimes he'd even get whoever he brought with him to join in, making moaning noises whenever our characters would share moments with each other or perform together, or yell at things that our characters could do to each other. Some of them were as bad as, if not worse, than Rogue himself. There were a couple of times that some of them would look uncomfortable and not say anything. I'm not sure if it was peer pressure or groupthink that got the majority of them to play along, though. The final straw was when, during one scene, the other bard had made mine a flower crown and ended up confessing her feelings. She actually had deeper feelings that I or my character expected. Before I could say anything, Rogue suddenly yelled out from the DM's kitchen, "Scissor her!" causing the other degenerates with him to break into laughter, as some of them started yelling different sexual things for them to do or degrading stuff. So it sounds like everybody is fucking horrible now.
Yeah, he was saying, well, it's the
group mentality
that he brings with him.
Yeah.
And it's again, this is degrading. What is it? When you objectifying.
Yeah, it's objectifying, and it's so much. This entire situation is so bad. We're almost at the end of it, thankfully, or unfortunately. I mean,
yeah.
But it's one of those situations that is made increasingly worse because you're throwing in strangers who don't know each other very well.
Yeah.
Mixed in with the DM's family, and nobody knowing how to address anything.
Yeah. I don't know. If my cousins were being bitches, I'm not afraid to kick them out.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not either.
My temper could never deal with this.
No, I couldn't either. I would break bonds faster than I'd be worried about.
What is decorum?
Yeah, honestly. The final bit here. The other bard finally stood up, yelling how disgusting they were. There it is. And that she wasn't going to continue playing if she had to deal with him before getting up, racking all of her dice and items into her bag messily before she snatched her character sheet, nearly crumpling it as she left the house, slamming the door behind her. DM looked like he was about ready to pull his hair out. He had been placed in a position where he had to pick between causing family discourse or saving his game. He saved himself the stress, and this was our last session in that campaign. Yeah. Other Bard had sent apology texts to everyone in our group, feeling guilty for the campaign ending. No, yeah. I told her it wasn't her fault and ended up explaining what had happened prior to her joining.
No one had explained
That's
her?
That's wild to me.
For that many times?
That's wild.
Oh my god.
Which is probably why her character confessed to Crush, because I bet they had no idea. Yeah. And like Opie said, they weren't like bringing that information to the forefront.
Yes, but here's the thing also. Just because you're ace doesn't mean you're arrow, which means you can still have romantic feelings and love someone, you just don't want to have sex. Yeah. So she could have had feelings for this other Bard.
Yeah.
That would have been a great story.
That would have been an amazing story.
Fuck him.
And now we don't get it because of a fucking cousin. While this did make her feel better, she still made it known that she regretted her actions. She had tried offering her apartment up as a place we could play, but DM declined. He had lost pretty much all motivation to continue this campaign. And that's how this campaign ended. Someone my character actually could have a romantic relationship with, like you were saying, Crystal, would respect her boundaries unanswered, a declaration of love hanging in the air, while a yes was frozen in time on the other's lips, an extremely bitter end. Oh no, she was gonna say,
I like you too.
That's the worst part about when a campaign ends, is that like that's the story.
Yeah.
And like you can imagine what the rest of it would be,
the
but
fanon, headcanons and all that, but it's not the same.
No.
Fuck.
That fucking sucks. So
write a book.
Write a book. Yeah, honestly, write a book. To Disastrous Sapphire from, at the time of recording this, maybe 2.5 hours ago. Feeling for you, dude. I hope you're having better RPG experiences in the very near future. I doubt you're having them right this moment because it's so sudden.
Well, she still has her online game.
You still invite
the Bard to the online game.
There you go.
Please do.
Please. That's the solution. In the meantime, though, let's hop into some of these comments down here.
Okay.
And this is a very popular story already.
Yeah.
From, I don't like this.
I know.
From Secret Sociopath.
Okay. Love the name, though.
Oh, wait. No, wait. Are they tagged Secret Sociopath?
They tagged someone? You can tag.
No, their username is Itch171. There's a tag below their name that says Secret Sociopath.
Okay.
I don't know what that means on this channel, but we will find out, I suppose. They say, I sort of understand where DM is coming from, but also don't. Sorry, we're having a game night and I'd prefer not having additional visitors. It can be pretty disruptive. It's not a difficult thing to come up with and very sensible limitation, even for unwitting pawns of the original rogue.
Is it, well, does he live with, like, his parents still? Like, it's not his house. Like, we don't know this. I'm just asking, rhetorical. Because if you do live with your parents, you don't have a complete say.
Yeah, you don't have like full lockdown rules. In any case, sorry you had to go through this. Hope this at least your online group is horror story free. Edit fix typo. You did. Yeah, I think they should just bring the other Bard into the online game. Just incredibly unfortunate. It's left a sour taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. The next top comment, and this is probably the last one that we're going to read for the story. A comment in response to Itch171 from Judge Jed100 says, yeah, no amount of family pressure would have me sit there and allow my family to sexually harass 2 guests I invited to my home.
2 women at that.
Yeah, honestly. Fucking Disastrous Sapphire. I don't know, dude. I hope you're watching this and hope you understand that you have like a wave of people here clearly who are like rallying behind you. Yeah. And I just hope that you're able to find a solution that helps you find an ending for those characters or some kind of solution for what has been going on. But I think perhaps that campaign ending may have been the best result for everyone involved, unfortunately.
Yeah. There are other groups out there that are less toxic, and you clearly have one.
Yeah.
I hope you can find another in-person group, just because I know there's like the difference in feeling being in person and doing it online.
Yeah.
But
there's not really a positive way to end this video, I think, with that story, except to say, Disastrous Sapphire, feel free to check out our Discord. Come pop in. We'd love to share more stories with you and joke around.
We're a very open and accepting group.
Very true. And for everyone else, the story is listed in the top, link in the description. Go show this person some love. And in the meantime, thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next Rolling with Reddit. Bye for now.